It's Thursday.
Yeah.
That one beautiful thing about this day is that, well, it ushers in the weekend.
Of course.
The beginning of the weekend, and that's Friday, which is tomorrow.
But then again, it also gives us another opportunity to come into your home and give you a great start to your day.
Yeah, thank you for tuning in for this brand new edition of Wake Up Nigeria. Now, this lady over here.
What?
With the shiny thing.
Yeah, what? Shiny what?
So.
It's a dress. Yomi, it's a dress. Say it's a dress.
So you were wearing a single colored yellow dress yesterday.
Okay.
And
what?
Today.
Just say you like the dress.
Okay, so it's a nice dress.
Thank you. It's okay.
I'm trying to understand it.
What? It's called sequin.
Oh, yes, the sequin dress.
Yes.
Right.
I decided to sparkle today. My name is Titilayo Oyinson.
And I am Yomi Obe, indeed. And we are streaming live right now at tvcentertainment.tv. I was going to make a comment about the dress, but let's just leave that aside.
People will send in those comments.
Yeah, okay, so send in the comments.
Yes.
When the camera comes really close, you can see what she's talking about because it just blings all over the place. Mm-hmm. Yeah, now, of course, if you want to participate in the show, use the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC on all our social media platforms.
You can also download our mobile app and see how I sparkle from any Android or iOS store. Watch us on all your mobile devices from anywhere in the world.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Moving on from the sparkles.
We have multi-instrumentalist James Alabi giving us some music.
Barrister and founder of Legal Niger blog is our author of the week with his book, Legal Rights and Obligations Under Nigerian Law.
Then we move on to tech. We have Barrister Barinada, right? Who will be highlighting on how SMEs can access legal service through tech and social media. That's interesting.
Very interesting. And then right after that, we'll bring you a performance from Afro-pop singer and songwriter King Chessy.
Only me and you. Oh, see, I love you, girl. I love you.
Then also joining us with his band for some live music is Olowo Fariwo, friend of the house.
Thursdays are always artsy, and you're going to see some fantastic art pieces from educator and illustrator Keko Alexander.
And then we'll be joined a little later on by Dr. Chidima Ezele from the NEO Child Initiative. Now, this platform is dedicated to improving access to healthcare for the Nigerian child. All right.
So one of the things that I've always wanted to ask all the anchors is, do you do like a budget at the beginning of the month? So most people have an idea of, okay, this is what I want to buy. These are the regular groceries. So cornflakes, sugar, milk, soap, detergent, whatever it is, at the beginning of the month. And then maybe they do it twice a month. So there's some people who do it twice a month. There's some people who do it once a month. I met someone who does it once in a quarter.
Wow.
Amazing. Like, I went to their house.
Once a quarter?
Yeah, they've got this
store.
Their store is like a whole room. So they do it once a quarter. Everything is there. It's like their store is like a store.
It's like a shop.
It's like a grocery shop, you know. So they know exactly how many boxes of cornflakes they're going to use in a quarter.
Wow.
How much sugar. All of that. I'm always so impressed by that they're planning. Like, I've always wanted to be a planner like that. Like, I walk into their store, I'm like, oh, well, I want to be like this.
So this family you're describing must be very structured. Okay, so it sounds like it's a man, his wife, and just 2 kids. Am I right?
There are 4 kids.
There are 4 kids?
4 kids.
And then 2 parents, right?
4 kids, 2 parents, but you
know why I'm asking?
But the husband is he's in the Navy, he's in the Air Force, so he's always
Okay.
He's not always
So,
well.
so that shows military structure, one. Two, there are no extended family members saying, hey, Joe, we need the milk. You know,
No.
like they will so come in and raid your store. They let them just know that you have
That
excess.
you have that kind of store,
Oh
yeah.
my God. It will never last a quarter, never. But
no,
what
yeah.
I've been doing is I've been, so I of course, prices fluctuate.
Yeah.
So you never know when milk is going to go up, when it's going to come down. Whenever I see deals or all these 2-for-1,
Yeah.
then I buy more, that kind of thing. But
If you see 2-for-1, it's probably almost expiring, so you can't buy
but
for
you finish it in 1 month now.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Or like, for instance, milk. Milk
Yeah.
will never last a month. But for that kind of structure, I really have to give them a round of applause for that.
I mean, I saw it. I was
But
like,
then
yeah.
again, you have to have the money to throw into that kind of investment.
And they've been consistent. I mean, I've known them for years.
Wow.
They've always been consistent, down to what the kids take to school.
Amazing.
Plan for a quarter.
Something to think about.
Yeah.
But I do believe we have to take the news now.
Yes, indeed.
Yomi?
And the Senate has commenced debate on the general principles of the 2020 appropriation bill ahead of its passage for second reading. Now, this is coming immediately after President Muhammadu Buhari presented the appropriation bill before a joint session of the National Assembly on Tuesday. Tijesu Adeoye reports.
The race to beat the December deadline for the approval of the 2020 budget is in full swing, as the Nigerian Senate has commenced deliberations on the content of this fiscal document. Critical factors arising from the debate include the lack of sustainability and unrealistic projections, which lawmakers fear may throw the country into more debts.
Last year, it was a budget of consolidation. So this year, I was waiting to see what was going to be in the nitty-gritty of the budget. In other words, Mr. President, this is nothing but a budget of taxation.
And my own concern is that much as government might need to borrow money from domestic sources, I fear that if care is not taken, government might become a major competitor in a way that might stifle the capacity or ability of the private sector to be able to draw the necessary loan facility from the same local banks. It is a cause for concern and is something that government needs to look critically into.
Other lawmakers believe the required economic growth rate of the country can only be achieved if the budget is properly implemented.
Agencies and the ministries responsible to try as much as possible to insist by making sure that the people that are supposed to benefit from these social investment programs benefit from this money.
I think we have additional responsibility to ensure that we are not just trying to see how we share the cakes, but also how to bake more cakes. I do believe that in order to ensure full implementation of this budget, we must also emphasize revenue generation.
So we will adjourn.
The debate continues up until next week, Tuesday, after which the National Assembly will commence defense of all budgetary allocations. Tijesu Adeoye, TVC News, Abuja.
Minister of Labour and Employment Chris Ngige has held a series of meetings with labor unions in Abuja over the implementation of the new minimum wage. Now, this comes as time runs out on the deadline issued by Labour for payment of approved adjustment on the commencement of a nationwide strike. Organized Labour is mobilizing workers for the shutdown if the federal government fails to conclude deliberations before the 16th of October. The Association of Senior Civil Servants in Nigeria rose from a meeting in Abuja with a call on government to reconvene the now suspended negotiation council. Joke Adesa tells us more.
The clock is ticking. Labour leaders have started mobilizing members of organized labour for a standoff with the authorities. over the stalemate in the consequential adjustment of the salaries of workers between grade levels 07 and 14. Talks at the Joint National Public Service Negotiation Council had been terminated following the inability of government and labor leaders to arrive at a mutually agreeable figure. While government agrees to 11% salary adjustment, Labour insists it moderated its initial position of 66.6% upward salary adjustment to 29% for workers on levels 07 to 14 and 24% for officers on salary grade levels 15 to 17. Organised Labour wants the government to reconvene the negotiation council to conclude its talks, without which a national strike is inevitable. As they count down to the next 1 week, Labour leaders say they are not averse to talks.
You have a salary structure. You have a ratio between the minimum and the maximum. When the minimum was 18,000, you have what you have at the maximum. Then you have tilted the minimum to 30,000. Are you going to still leave the table there? It's distortion. You don't allow distortion. It's not done anywhere in the world. That's why you do consequential adjustment. And in their own language too, the committee set up, they said the committee to work out the consequential adjustment of salaries arising from the minimum wage of 30,000 naira. It's as simple as that.
He adds that mobilization is ongoing ahead of the October 16 deadline.
As far as we are concerned, nothing has been implemented. What are they implementing? You are negotiating, somebody went behind the scene to start issuing one circular. As far as we are concerned, in the Labour, nothing has been done. Time from 17, the leadership of Labour will give directive to members nationwide on what to do.
Labour and Employment Minister Chris Ngige had hinted on the setting up of yet another committee to begin renewed negotiation on the salary adjustment in line with the 30,000 naira minimum wage. Labour believes the naira has suffered devaluation from 150 naira to a US dollar in 2011 to 360 naira to a US dollar in 2019, a depreciation of 140%. Jokeadsa, TVC News, Abuja.
Now, the Economic Advisory Council set up by President Muhammadu Buhari has been inaugurated and is set to begin work. The president charged the council to focus on developing reliable data that will properly reflect what is happening in the country. He is worried that most of the data collected about Nigeria that forms global perception are done by foreign organizations. That's why he says the data provided will be used for national planning and ensuring an equitable distribution of resources across the country. And the management of the University of Lagos has set up a probe panel to probe the allegations of sexual harassment leveled against its lecturers, Boniface Igbenedu and Samuel Oladipo. It will be headed by a professor of public law and incumbent dean of the Faculty of Law, Ayodele Atsenua. The two lecturers have been suspended following their involvement in a Sex for Grades documentary published by the British Broadcasting Corporation, BBC. In addition to their suspension, the lecturers were also barred from the university's academic areas until conclusion of the panel's assignment. Students and members of staff who have relevant information have been encouraged to come forward, noting that their protection is assured. Well, that's it on the news update for this hour. The weather update is next, and after that, a quick break.
There's quite a lot of stories in the papers today. We have to get to it as quickly as possible. If we start with the Punch, we have this headline. It says National Assembly LCCI experts knock federal government's 2020 budget. Funding challenges imminent, say professionals. Senate reps begin debate on document. On the minimum wage deadline, Labour mobilizes for strike. Federal government counters move. Meanwhile, federal government pays PNID £250,000 court-ordered cost. Nigeria demands $62 billion from IOCs as unpaid profits. ASU opens up peace talks with breakaway group. Senate proposes 5-year jail term for school sexual offenders. And right at the bottom here, it says Fayemi wants Senate scrapped. Oronsaye report implemented. Unilag raises probe panel on sexual harassment cases. And finally, on the 2.1 billion fraud, court extends Maina son's detention. That's what we have on the cover of the Punch.
All right, let's check out the cover of the Guardian. Still talking about the budget. 2020 budget projections unrealistic, senators say. And it's a budget of taxation, says the minority leader. Debt service percentage high. GDP ratio too small. Capital expenditure paltry, majority leader says. And one or two other writers there. And Buhari rejects World Bank IMF statistics on Nigeria and tasks Economic Advisory Council to challenge them. And sea piracy. Maritime leaders set up a working group. And Taraba varsity expels student for criticizing government on Facebook. Wow. And the Unilag sets up a probe panel, and Senate revises sexual harassment bill. And that's what we have on the cover of the Vanguard.
Up next, we have the Guardian newspaper, and it says here, senators fault Buhari's budget, vow overhaul, lament higher debt servicing, lower capital expenditure, say projection on increased oil production flawed. Fiscal plan is focused, APC chieftain insists. Now, it also says here on the Metro pages, it says Lagos residents lament bad roads after viral video falsely claimed Sanwo-Olu drove against traffic. It also says here, criticism trails renewal of 42 oil block licenses. Nation risks being hugely shortchanged. How government should handle it by stakeholders, and reps move to check crude oil theft. Just under the masthead here, it says government labor meet to fast-track minimum wage implementation. It also says here, Buhari inaugurates economic team, urges reliable data. And finally, Senate considers 5-year jail term for lecturers over sexual assault. That's what we have on the cover of The Guardian.
Do we still have time for one more?
No, I think it's time for us to take a quick break. But we will have the traffic report after this.
Welcome back. We are, of course, taking a look at the traffic situation across the city of Lagos. And I have my guys in the kitchen, Mike Mexicano and Titi Oyinsa. Hey, guys.
Just before you start, you might come across it, but mile 12, I heard there's a tanker or a container that has fallen over the bridge or something. I will get the exact details. But that area just blocked. In fact, someone said that if you are at home, just stay back. Don't even come out. Also somewhere around Woody. So we'll probably check out and get the exact details to you in a bit.
Yeah, so we'll get those details to you very shortly. But if you are going from Bega to Lekki Phase 1 this morning, it'll take you an hour and 20 minutes. So that's not too long. So Ojo to Bega, that's if you're at Bega bus stop right now, and you're heading to Lekki Phase 1, it's not too bad. The Third Mainland Bridge is actually not too bad until you get to Adekunle, where that there's that connection from those coming from Yaba. That's where it starts getting busy. But from Berga all the way to Ojota, where it gets a little bit busy, all the way across Ogudu and Oro, it's not too bad, not too shabby until you get to the Third Mainland Bridge. So yeah, an hour, 21 minutes if you're coming from that direction. Now, if you're going through Ikorodu Road, which is where I am now, so the traffic is not so bad on Ikorodu Road, but from what Mike told us earlier, there's a blockade at mile 12, where a tanker fell. So that's causing a gridlock, like a total lockdown in that area. So if you can get alternative routes, or if you are planning to go to the island, maybe go with through the waterways. That would be a very, very good alternative for you this morning if you're in Ikorodu. So probably avoid that entire area for now. But if you're after that area, from K2, you're good to go. Even though Ikorodu Road is still pretty busy. I'm not sure why, but all the major bus stops on Ikorodu Road, the usual ones, Onikpan, of course, Fadi and Jibo, quite busy right now. It's a Thursday, and it shouldn't be as heavy as it is, but I guess maybe because traffic is being diverted from other areas, that's why it's quite busy now. So those are the two major updates that I have for now. I don't know if the guys have a few tweets for us.
Okay, that what I spoke about earlier, I can see a report here. An accidented containerized, I don't know if that is a word or if it's...
Containerized truck, I mean.
Yeah, maybe some sort of neologism, but yeah, an accidented containerized trailer has totally blocked the Mile 12 bridge from Uwode, Oniri end, with heavy traffic already building up. Help is needed. So that's if you have not left the house and you're around the area, just stay back, seriously, man.
It seems to be quite bad.
Yeah, and then there's something here also. There's a very long stretch of vehicles from Abule going to Ikeja inside roundabout inwards village. Going Maryland is free, while some sections of the streets lights ain't working. This came in about 70 minutes ago, so it should still be valid, or maybe it has even built up even more.
Yeah, so there are all those tweets you put out keep being repeated by other handles. Yeah,
okay.
So those are the tweets, exactly the same areas that Mike mentioned just now, are the areas that seem to be being talked about online.
All right.
And then a lot of complaints about bad roads.
Yeah.
Oh man, the bad road.
A lot of complaints about bad roads.
Yeah.
The rains keep the roads wet, so even when they're fixed, they usually cave in. So probably the government is also probably waiting for when the season is a bit dry so that the roads can last a bit longer. Because I know that even for some of the roads that have been fixed a few weeks ago, they've all caved in again. And that's because of the wetness on the roads. Now, we're heading to Iju-Ishaga, so some of you who live in that area. So usually there's traffic on that road because it's just one artery that leads out of that area. So it's usually pretty tough around Fagba. So yeah, so there's a St. Kizito's bus stop all the way across the major bus stops, all until you get to Fagba. It's quite busy, but right after Fagba, things free up very nicely all the way to College Road, where there's a bit of, it slows down a little bit, but it's actually not too bad if you're heading to Ikeja area and all of that. Just go through that. So the good thing about that axis is that right after Fagba, there's a lot of ways that you can use to get to Ikeja. So if you're going to Ojuelegba, for instance, all the way from here, through Ikeja, all of that, it's not so bad if you go through Ikeja GRA, and then come out at Maryland. But it will take you over an hour if you're going from Iju-Ishaga. And also, if you're going through Ikeja, the usual major areas, there are some culprits, there are some areas where it's pretty, it can be pretty dense, especially at this time of the morning. So Obakran is one of them. Ikeja bus stop itself under the bridge, that's a major area. Where traffic is usually expected. And but right after those areas, things free up a little bit. Whether you're going to Simbiat or you're going to the General Hospital, things begin to free up a little bit. But yeah, that's about all that we can take on the traffic updates right now this Thursday morning. It's not as bad as it would usually be, but be careful out there. And those in Mile 12, please wait a little bit before you move out. Maybe the authorities will move out that big truck that fell. Anyway, so we're heading back to the kitchen where we have some gist for you today.
Yeah, thank you so much, Yomi. And you know, we're still going to talk a bit about, okay, so there's something that's been trending online. So Tunde Ednot is someone who has an interesting Instagram page. A lot of people just wake up in the morning and see that Tunde Ednot has posted something, and that becomes like the banter for the rest of the day.
So what happened this time?
So this time, you know, once again, big congratulations to Mercy for winning Big Brother Naija. That was last week, Sunday. Now, that feels like still gist. But the interesting thing is that they've been doing media rounds. They've been visiting all the, sponsors, the bank that sponsored, all the companies that sponsored the competition.
Hey, guys.
And this time, there was some kind of comment online where the vehicle that was presented to Mercy was basically being considered a toy car. And of course, a big shout out to IVM. It's a Nigerian, company producing vehicles in Nigeria. Imagine how hard it must be to put together that kind of, infrastructure to, put vehicles on the ground in Nigeria. Imagine how hard that must be. And they're doing it. And that vehicle was presented to Mercy.
The innocent vehicle.
Yeah.
So people are bashing the car?
So kind of.
Why did he?
I don't have the exact quote.
What was he bashing it?
Well, basically, he's saying, Big Brother should have given her something more, exactly, more international. Yeah.
Apart from the huge 30 million naira check.
But
30 million. You saw the check, right?
Let
You
me-
saw the
yeah,
check.
yeah,
30 million. I saw the check.
And I'm like, I love the fact that it's Nigerian. I don't know, this is just me. I would really have felt bad if it was another company from another country that was giving a Nigerian, this is BB Naija that we called it,
Yeah.
So I don't really know what the issue is, but it seems to have been trending since yesterday.
So if I put up my real thoughts about this, I might get into trouble.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So let me water it down. If I don't know if you're a Nigerian and then you decide that you want to bash that car, something's really wrong with you.
Okay, if you say so.
Yeah.
If you say so.
Because you get to a point whereby you have a ministry. A minister comes up on air some few months or a few years back and says, we will start producing pencils.
Yeah.
Like,
pencils.
we want to start producing matches.
We don't produce, even toothpick is imported.
That is something that a minister can say. And then you have a vehicle that is made in Nigeria.
Yeah.
And then bile is being thrown at the design or whatever.
Yeah.
It's a Hummer beautiful.
And then they're comparing it to, G-Wagon, they're comparing it to other vehicles.
I think it's crazy the way people think and the way people relate, because a lot of us connect our self-esteem and our self-worth to the material things that we own that is connected to other people's names. So if I'm wearing Gucci, I'm feeling nice with myself, but if I'm wearing a designer called Titi Oyinson, people might say,
what is she wearing?
You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So that is one of the problems that we have in this country. On Monday, Rwanda just announced that it produced the first African mobile phone
in Africa.
Amazing.
Produced in Africa.
Grown, generated, developed, everything.
Even our Nigerian brands are produced
they produce
Asia.
in China,
Our Nigerian brands, the phones that we have, they are not produced here. Rwanda has done that. I remember going some years back, we had car manufacturing plants here. We had Peugeot. We can still see some moribund factories of still bearing those names.
Exactly. Daewoo and the rest of them.
Daewoo, Dunlop and all of them. Go to Rwanda now. Those plants are now in Rwanda. Those even international brands are building production plants in Rwanda.
Very true. Michelin moved to Ghana.
Yeah.
Some 12 years ago.
The cost of production is just too high here.
Unilever doesn't produce Blue Band here.
Wow.
Blue Band, butter is not produced here.
And it's also, you are, with all due respect to you, you are, it takes a lot of ignorance. Go check out, for you to go and start bashing. I don't get, these cars are actually built and made for Nigerian roads. If you look at those vehicles, every single one of them, like you can see the ruggedness. He went for, rather than beauty or aesthetics or design, he went for efficiency. We know our roads. We are complaining about potholes. I mean, you're driving a car and your heart is going up and down. Oh, my shocks and all of that. And so, this thing is built by us, for us.
So to be honest, I think we need to own, our own products a lot more. I think we need to really focus on being truly patriotic and being Nigerian as much as possible. I don't know, man. It's still trending. I'm not sure whether the trend is going to end anytime soon. The conversation is still ongoing, but it does tell you a lot about the mindset of the average person. That only got, I think they said it was worth about 25 million or so. It's a solid vehicle.
The vehicle itself?
Yeah, I'm just like, what? Anyhow, that was the gist I found.
If you're even looking at it, it has this design of still like a Hummer.
Yeah.
We have a lot of these cars that are not beautiful. There are foreign brands that are built also for toughness, for ruggedness.
Yeah.
You understand?
I mean, that's the whole idea. You have the Land Rover Defender.
Exactly.
That is essentially a box.
Yeah.
You understand?
But it's you know, the steel that goes into it, and even the
so solid.
The axle, everything is solid, so that
Like
you can
forget
use it
the
in
brand.
rough terrain.
Forget the brand. Is the G-Wagon really beautiful?
No.
That one is just straight, like sharp edges. It's just the brand, the name that's just.
Exactly. For about 40 years, it was the same design.
No, they were not killing themselves. Let's make this
The
one.
weird thing is, it will shock you that most of the people commenting on all these things don't even have cars anyway.
In the first place.
So really, please, let's stop retweeting and reposting things that really pull us down as a nation.
I totally agree. I totally agree.
Right.
Anyway, so lots of things that are happening as we approach the end of the year. There's lots of events coming up. So one thing I found, I don't know what you guys think of this. I don't know if we'll have enough time for it. So a lot of banks are going into spaces that are not traditional to banks. So a lot of banks are doing music, movies, series, owning TV, online TV stations, and all of that. So I'm not sure where they're going with it, because it's not really
the terrain that they normally
it's not the terrain, because they're going to be expending a lot of resources in that direction. So I don't know whether it's a sustainable project.
Well, I think it still goes back to what we were saying earlier. You know, trying to build particular industries. Look at a particular bank that has focused on food and drink, and then also focused on fashion, and also ended up bringing up SME owners in the meantime. You know, giving SME owners exposure, for instance. So in the end, I think it's all in a sense trying to give back. You know, I would say it's kind of like CSR. They've just let go of that budget and just let it be. I don't think it's a money-making thing. I don't know. I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
Or maybe they're thinking about the future. Well, I don't know. I'll be curious to know what their strategy is in that area.
We have to take a quick break, everyone, but we will be back. Wake Up Nigeria continues. But we're going to be celebrating you further with some music. And there's a performer on standby.
Now, his name is Alabi James Olaniro.
Yes, sir.
And he's a bassist and an assistant music director at the Father House Church. We don't have too long now. He's going to be giving us a nice, something to inspire us this morning.
Go ahead. All right, hello again, people. Good morning. Now, the morning started for us at the hour of 6.
Yes, indeed.
And we're back for yet another hour.
Yeah, some people have already had like a full breakfast.
Yes, sir.
At 7 a.m., even though some people are just waking up. Anyway, we're going to take it one after the other. Right? Just one step at a time. 1 hour has gone by already. And I'm just wondering who's watching right now. Is there anybody out there?
They're there.
If there's somebody out there, tweet at us.
Yes, sir.
Use the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC.
Yes, indeed.
I'm in a giveaway mood today, giveaway spirit.
Wow, what are you giving
I'm just
away?
Thinking about, I'm
What?
just thinking.
How much are you giving away today?
I'm just thinking. You
What?
know,
How much?
I'm waiting for the spirit to move me, the Holy Ghost.
Okay, you know time is going. Tell us.
I'm not going to say it yet. I'm not going to say it yet, but yeah, tweet at us, tell us, talk to us, inspire us this morning, and maybe the spirit will move me to do something for you.
It could be you. My name is Titilayo Oyinson.
And I'm Yomi Okwe. We're streaming live right now, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, you know that already. TVCentertainment.tv. and of course on Facebook at TVC Connect.
Those comments you send in, we appreciate them so much. Just keep sending them across our social media platforms as soon as you can. Use our hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC.
Yeah, we also have an app for you that you could download both on the Android and iOS stores. Now, this app allows you to watch us anywhere in the world.
Yes, indeed.
To find it, use TVC Connect to look for it.
Now, we're still on our discovery of Fada rice and all it can do. So we promise
Something special
something
today.
special today. And well, you will definitely be hearing from us on that one. Yesterday was epic.
Oh, wow.
Not epical, epic with the H.
I mean, the entire place, the aroma in the air.
Yeah.
And the sheer number of people that got a little bit of that right.
It was amazing. Amazing.
Yeah. Anyway, so let's go straight to the rest of the highlights that we have for you on the show today. You know a little bit about everything. Our book of the week is Legal Rights and Obligations Under Nigerian Law. Now, this is a book by Adedumade Onibokun.
That should be an interesting one, actually. Really interesting one, yeah.
Interesting.
And then we'll be moving on to tech, still in the legal corner there. Now, the tech discussion is where Mike will be joined by Barrister Barinada Alexander. And the discussion will be helping SMEs access legal services through tech and social media.
Then we'll bring you a musical performance from Afro-pop singer and songwriter King Chezzy. Or is it Chessy?
Is it Chessy or it's not cheesy?
Chessy. Chessizel. These guys, you know, they just spend so much, they splurge on videos.
Yes,
wow.
they do. Yeah. And then to give us the Owambe wedding feel right here on the show, we have Olowo Fariwo. And of course, that band knows how to throw down.
And from that, we move on to discussing and showcasing some art. Now, this one is from artist, educator, and illustrator Koke Alexander.
Then we'll be learning so much today. We have NEO Child Initiative coming into the building today. NEO Child Initiative, they have something that they've been working on for the Nigerian child. What they do is really interesting, and it'll be interesting to find out more from Dr. Chidinma Ezelo.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, I heard that Hillary is considering running again.
Really?
She's considering it. She hasn't made it.
Because I heard when Trump took a shot at her, like he always does, and all of that.
She said, you know, but I like her. I like her comment. She said, if I do run, I will beat him again.
Oh,
Again.
nice.
So
She beat him before.
No, okay, we all know that she won majority votes.
Yeah,
the issue was the electoral college, which is, and according to the law, she lost.
Yeah. According to the law, yeah.
So it's not majority, you understand? It was not just a clear majority.
Yeah.
It was electoral
When you're
votes.
the favorite doesn't always mean you're gonna.
Because she won by nearly 3 million votes. So
That's the point. That's the same majority. But electoral colleges decide.
Yeah.
And it was the electoral college votes that
decided,
she lost.
of course. Yeah, she actually.
So that was why, and so you didn't beat him. As much as I still remember that day, coming towards Ikeja, I think, in the morning, and I'm seeing, so I'm following on social media and all that. I'm going down in the car, and I was seeing this thing early in the morning, I think, very early, and then it had to be a problem for me. I was like, no.
What's going on?
Network is not okay.
It was crazy.
Not because of anything, but because of it was unexpected.
Unexpected. All the polls said that Hillary would win.
Yeah. Who remembers the hashtag? I'm with her.
Yeah, by actually a landslide, and it just turns out that.
I would love for a woman to take that role, but it's still.
I'll never forget Obama. So there's this documentary about how Obama was the reason why Trump ran for president. This is a short documentary. Even next time I'll tell you guys about it. You need to see how they did this documentary. So at the end, suppose I blame Obama, you are the cause. We'll talk about it later. Talk about that later.
welcome to the kitchen. Haha.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm armed and ready for this Ofada journey today.
Yes.
And thankfully, security took Mike out earlier when he realized Ofada was happening. He was fighting, he was dragging it, but not to worry. We got him out of here so that Chef Sheung and myself can throw down.
Yes.
All right, so welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much.
First time on the show?
Yes, first time.
Yes, so.
I'm a bit nervous.
Spicy. Really?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Seriously.
But this is what you do on a daily now.
Yeah, but this is the first time I'm doing it on air.
For real?
Yeah.
You're actually a lot more calm than some other chefs I've met. So honestly, you won't believe. You won't believe. But welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
All right, so this is all in celebration of World Ofada Day.
Yup.
Yeah?
Yes.
And I can see you have some major ingredients here. Let's talk about them.
Okay, first, the major reason why we are here today is Ofada. Ofada can be traced back to the 1940s, and it originated from Ogun State in a town called Ofada. So we have our Ofada rice here, and today I'm making Ofada rice with a touch of fried rice in it.
A touch of fried rice in it?
Yes, please.
So cute. Let's talk about the ingredients one by one. Let's take them one by one. Go ahead.
Okay, so here we have the Ofada rice. We have the tomato puree. We have the green pea. We have Maggi. We have Maggi signature. We have salt to taste. We have green pepper.
Okay.
We have tomatoes, red pepper, onions, carrots, vegetable oil, spring onions, and cucumber.
All right.
Yes.
So what's the first thing we need to do for this Ofada fried rice that you want to make today?
The first thing we need to do, we have to, the oil, the groundnut oil needs to go into the fry pan.
Oh, okay. Okay, all right. So we're not doing the rice first. As in the rice, we're not touching it yet.
Yeah, we are going to have to parboil the rice.
Okay, all right.
Yes, but the first step is the oil.
All right. So go ahead. Do your thing. The pans are warming up already, and Chef Sheung is going to be making things happen today. So I love how colorful this all looks. And I can see ingredients that are easy for you to find in the market.
Yes.
But is this a special type of Ofada rice?
No, there's nothing special about it. It's just our normal Nigerian Ofada rice.
Okay.
Strictly made in Nigeria.
All right then. So to parboil this, I guess we need water. Let me get some water for you here. And while we have that getting set, yeah? Is there a special way you do Ofada rice? Do you have to boil the water down, or how do you do it? Do you rinse it?
Yes, we rinse it, we parboil it. One of the reasons why we are parboiling it, since we are giving it a different type of taste, we are using it to make jollof rice. Okay. So we need to parboil it so it won't be mushy.
Okay,
yeah.
All right,
so
not to worry.
That's the reason why we are
Owambe Spices is gonna hold us down today, but we have to take a quick break. Wake Up Nigeria continues in a bit. Don't go anywhere.
Chidimba Ezelo is a medical doctor and a representative of the Neo Child Initiative, which is a non-profit organization seeking to transform the lives of Nigerian children by improving their access to health care and also providing them with information to empower them for self-development. We have a discussion today about something that the Neo Child Foundation is doing this week. How you doing, Doc?
Doing very fine, doing very fine.
Yeah, good to have you join us on the show today. So talk to us about what you're doing about this hand washing campaign.
Okay, so from TNCI, the Neo Child Initiative, as you already rightly introduced, we are a group of vibrant adults an NGO that care for children, the well-being and health of children, Nigerian children, especially those from poverty-stricken areas. Yeah. So as part of our programs, we have a campaign, an awareness campaign, the Washed Up, water, sanitation, health education against, hygiene education against pneumonia, undernutrition, and diarrhea.
Wow. Okay. So Washed Up is the name of the campaign itself. Right?
Yes, it is. So we have it. It has been on for a long time. It has on since June. But the main program, the world attempt to break the highest, having the highest number of children having hand hygiene is holding next week, October 15th at Ejibo. So on that day at Ejibo, we are going to gather about 5,000 children to teach them how to wash their hands and about hand and personal hygiene habits.
Are you also targeting winning like a World Guinness Book?
Yes, that's
Guinness
our
World
target.
Record?
Yes.
Okay, so that's the target. 5,000 children gathered.
Yes, at least 5,000
washing their hands
children.
at the same time
Yes.
and doing it right.
Yes, doing it right, WHO way. Yes.
Now, one of the things that I've noted over the past few weeks is that there's a high incidence of all these little diseases that come from being unclean and improper sanitation. Going to the bathroom and not washing your hands, eating food without washing your hands, or playing with your friends in the gutter and things like that. So is that one of the things that you're also trying to educate children about?
Yes, we're trying to. Research has shown that washing hands is a major way to prevent diseases like pneumonia, undernutrition, and diarrhea. So we are trying to teach children how to wash their hands after using toilets, just personal hygiene generally. Because if they learn it from at a young age, it grows with them and it passes it to the next generation.
So the New Child Initiative, how are you involving parents and teachers? Because that's also one of the areas, one of the key areas that I feel that, a lot of, apart from you educating the children themselves, parents are also involved. So if a teacher, for instance, sees a child coming from the bathroom, the question should be, have you washed your hands? So are you also involving teachers and parents as well?
Yes. So we are going to have a teacher training whereby we're going to gather a lot of teachers from different schools that we're interested in, from low-income schools. They're going to come and we'll teach them training on how to make their school wash-friendly. Wash-friendly being that the school will follow the standards of water, sanitation, and hygiene, on how to teach their children, their students, on how to be very hygienic.
So there should be a minimum standard for every school.
Yes,
and we also have another guest joining us. So talk to us about what you are doing and how you're involved in this.
All right. I volunteered actually, and with time I got so much involved in it. So my first attempt was a participation in a school trek. We went to schools in low-income areas in Mushin, and then we did the hand washing, taught the children how to wash hands, then gathered the teachers as well, taught them. And then that's how it started, and that's been the goal.
Yeah, this is such a good initiative because I know that there's even a global hand washing campaign that has been going on for a while now, and it doesn't seem to be catching steam, especially in the low-income areas, which is what you're talking about now. So places like Ejibo and all those Mushin and the hinterlands and all the back areas, actually. So how do you want people to get involved in this? So now that you're doing it, I know that you're going to Ejibo, you're gathering lots of children, but beyond that, there's also sustainability, being able to ensure that this is ongoing and other. How do you want people to be involved?
So there are different there's different ways in which people can be involved. They can partner with us, they can support us by volunteering, and they can donate. Online, our media handle, TNCI_Africa, Instagram and Twitter. You can reach us out via the handles and get in touch with us on how to donate. You can donate via our links. We also have links. If you Google TNCI Washed Up program, you can find the links on how to donate. You can volunteer for the program or just partner with us to reduce the cost. Yes.
So, so typically, what do donations go into? So obviously, you get soap. That's the main thing. But what else? What else would you be looking at getting to support the program?
We'll be getting this bucket tap.
Okay, the bucket taps. Okay.
Yes. So, the aim is at the end of the program, we give it to the schools that came so that it will be continued.
So it's a continuous process. Yeah. So the bucket taps, are you going to be giving out T-shirts as well?
We'll be giving out T-shirts. Then we're going to provide the soap.
Okay, like so soap obviously for them as well.
The soap and then the towel and towel.
So all these things are important. So 5,000 children in Ejibo. So from Ejibo, where are we going? Because I'm thinking now that maybe I should also get involved at some point. Maybe when you guys come closer, because that Ejibo sounds very far to me. But So Ejigbo is when? What date is Ejigbo?
October 15th.
October 15th. So that's already quite close.
Yeah,
because today is 10,
yes.
just next week. That's in 5 days' time. So 5,000 children gathered, and we hope you meet that number.
We hope we are going to meet that number.
We hope you meet that number
yes.
so that we can at least Nigeria can be in the news for that specific thing, because. I heard one of the statistics that I heard just about 2 weeks ago is that we have one of the highest numbers of open defecation in the country, which is, I mean, such terrible numbers.
Yes, very sad.
So is this one of the things that you're also going to be educating people about?
Yes, it's part of the hygiene. It's part of the hygiene protocol, how to prevent using toilets rightly and not defecating openly in public and all. Part of the hygiene protocol.
So that's one of the hygiene protocols.
Yes.
So ensuring that there is a standard practice. So for many of the schools, are you going to be going back to see whether they're doing this right? Because, I mean, you train them once, give them buckets and soap and all of that, but will you go back after a month or 2 months and see whether they are doing it right and whether it's a continuous process?
Yeah, it's our goal. We actually want to, because we really believe in the fact that education is a key to it. And once you educate people properly and they know the cost, the benefits, and the implications of all these things, they tend to adhere to it. So we plan on going to schools even a month after or 2 months after. Just make sure that it's a continuous process. The ultimate goal is to reduce mortality rates.
Yes.
So, and this has to be sustainable.
Wow, thank you so much. So the New Child Initiative, and they're trying to hit a target next week. October 15th is the date, and we're rooting for them to succeed. We're heading over to Mike now, who's talking tech, but from the legal perspective. Hey, Mike.
All right, thank you very much, Yomi. So today on Tech, we're doing something a little bit quite different here, tech and law. As our guest today, we have Barinada Alex, a legal practitioner who uses social media as a tool to meet the needs of SMEs through the law and business community, a closed Facebook group of about 2,500 SMEs dedicated to helping them get clarity about the legal aspect of their business. Now, today we're going to be talking about education-based marketing, but it's great to have you. You are welcome.
Thank you. Good morning.
Okay, now, just before we go talking about education-based marketing, it's groundbreaking that you started using social media as a tool to help people gain clarity. What inspired that decision, and how did you go about it?
Okay, so I realized that a lot of people are on social media, a lot of businesses are on social media, and I realized that there is really the knowledge gap for these SMEs online is actually very slim.
Okay.
And the difficulty in accessing legal service is nothing to, I mean, you can't even talk about it. Okay. So I decided that, okay, rather than, post random things on social media, rather than use social media just for connecting with friends and random people, why don't you use it to, channel, let people know what you do, and then add value to these businesses. So what inspired me starting out on social media with my legal service is the fact that I wanted to make access to legal service very easy for SMEs.
Exactly. I like that. That's a keyword. So, education-based marketing. What do you mean by education-based marketing?
So, education-based marketing is basically using content that teach, content that adds value to people, to drive home your point. So, for example, a lot of people don't know about business registration.
Okay.
Now, what I do with education-based marketing is to teach everything I know they should know about business registration, is to help them to understand what exactly business registration is, types of registration, and all of that. And then beyond that also, helping them to get informed knowledge, because once they're informed, they're able to make proper decisions.
Exactly. So they're able to make proper. So how do you go about that? Videos, pictures, what is the best way? How do you carry out that particular message?
Well, I use everything. I do a lot of article writing, but I can tell you for free that videos convert more, videos do better.
On social media?
Yes, because people are able to connect with you, people can see you, and they are directly involved.
Now, let's get to you directly. So, I'm a young guy who's into business, who's just starting, and I don't understand the whole contracts, the whole legal jargon, as it were, going all about it. And social media, like you said, normally a lot of people use it for interaction and play and all of that.
Yeah,
but I need to get this service across and all that. I need to get the information. I need to get all of this, and I join your group and all that. How do I get access to you? How do I use that tool? As an end user, how do I use that tool that's meant for fun and pleasure to actually gain some serious knowledge from my own business? Isn't it? Because, people feel that when you go to meet a lawyer, you have to sit down and talk and explain. The length of time, people talk a lot, talking is. So the length of time of having to, using social media, social media is clogged. Like, you have to use smaller time. How do you achieve all of that via social media?
Okay, so, if you have to meet a traditional law firm,
yeah,
it will be very difficult, if not almost impossible, to access them. Okay. And because these people are very busy, they do not have the luxury of time and resources to work with SMEs or small business owners and startups. Now, with social media, they come there sometimes to interact, to play, and to do whatever. But now, with the law and business community, you're able to just click the link and join the group. Okay. Everything that happens in the group has to do with your business and the law. Okay. So once you're in that platform, you know that, okay, it's basically all legal service. It's basically legal information about my business. Okay. Now, if beyond the law and business community, I use my timeline also. Okay. So I think we should just get to a point where people realize that social media has gone beyond using it for interaction, like you said. It's now, people make money on social media every day, and people are closing deals, they're doing businesses. And if they are doing that, it's important that they should have legal clarity, as they interact, especially with people who they haven't met. So that's basically what I do with the law and business community.
I like that. Later, some other time, we'll also talk about those we'll go in intricate details and all of that. Okay. We'll still have another episode of the show. But thank you very much for coming. Thank you very much for the explanation, and all the best.
For having me.
All the best. Thank you. Okay, yeah, that's it. Of course, you can use social media and access legal services. Now, that's quite a very good one. We'll take a break now. No one away. We'll be right back. There's still more on the show.
No place like home where there's peace and harmony. What of that dying in the foreign land? Loss of hope, loss of value in the foreign land. No place like home where there's peace and harmony. Leila bossy mi oko, rántí ilé, ọmọ rántí ilé, ọmọ rántí ilé. Ilé la bossy mi oko, rántí ilé. What is happening everywhere is crime and killings. Blood is shed in the land without no reason. No place like home where there's peace and harmony. What is happening everywhere is crimes and killings. Blood is shed in the land without no reason. No place like home where there's peace and harmony. Ilé la bossy mi oko, rántí ilé, ọmọ rántí ilé, ọmọ rántí ilé. Ilé la bossy mi oko, rántí ilé, ọmọ rántí ilé, ọmọ rántí ilé. In Africa, Xenophobia has no place in Africa. Xenophobia has no place in Africa. Xenophobia has no place in Africa. Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah, did you like that performance?
Yes, I did. It was lovely. Very lovely.
Speaking of lovely, we have something lovely on display here.
Yes, so, yes. Can you perceive the aroma?
As in already. The ofada rice is already making me go gaga. But we have to make sure people know that Owambe Spices is here.
Yes, Owambe Spicy.
Yeah, all right. So we've decided to dedicate this week to Ofada Day, which is coming up on Saturday or Sunday?
Sunday.
Sunday, yes. And Chef Sheon is here. And we started out by telling you what exactly we were making earlier on, and we went through the ingredients. But let's tell them just so that anybody that just tuned in will know. What are the ingredients that we have here? We have
cucumber.
Cucumber.
Yes, we have red pepper, we have onions, we have spring onions, we have green pepper, we have carrots, we have salt to taste, we have green pea,
we have
tomato puree.
Yeah, and of course, the ofada rice.
Yes, the ofada rice.
Yes, of course. Now, we parboiled the rice earlier, so what are we doing now? Let's start moving.
Yeah,
Let's go. Let's go.
We have parboiled the rice, so now we are taking the groundnut oil, we are putting on the gas.
Okay.
So now we will be adding the ingredients, which I'll be pan frying.
Pan frying.
Pan fry.
Pan fry. What does pan fry mean?
Semi-fry.
Semi-fry, okay.
So right now I'm putting in the onions.
All right, go ahead. Onions first.
Yes, onions first.
Okay.
This food is going to be delicious. Very delicious.
I can only imagine. Look how colorful it already is. All right, so after the onions are frying, then what's next?
So you are just going to leave it for it to fry a bit.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, fry just a little bit.
Yes, just a little bit. So.
Are we adding anything to it there?
Yes, definitely.
What are we adding next?
We are adding the green pepper.
Okay. All right, let's go ahead with that.
The green pepper is going in. Followed by spring onions.
Okay.
And the carrots.
All right.
Then we are adding the pepper.
Beautiful. Now it looks very colorful already.
Yes.
We have Blessing here, who is our sous chef for today. She's the one whose chopping skills have been in action here. Don't worry, we got you, we got you, we got you. Don't worry, we got you. Look at all those, the way she chopped everything.
Yes, neatly chopped.
Very neat.
Because that's what beautifies the food.
Very true. Now, I had to note something. There's something here. I hope we can get a shot of it. And I want to just intimidate people small by this array of proteins.
Yes.
These proteins that have been specially prepared for this particular food.
Yes.
And I'm seeing a lot of chicken.
Chicken peri-peri.
And then what else is there?
Yeah, we have gizzard.
Gizzard
yes.
and chicken. And I just wanted to show people what I'm going to be eating later. I don't know.
Exactly, which is what we're trying to do.
Wow.
It's a good idea, too.
Okay. What's
I don't understand.
So,
you don't understand what?
I'm trying to make sure that this is properly
taken care of.
Yeah.
So this is my special chicken. I call it stir-fried chicken.
So what did we add to that chicken when we were making
I think it's something that I should probably taste just to make sure that
it's okay, have
it's
you?
good for consumption.
Yes, and I hope you won't be like Oliver Twist.
Yes.
Okay. Did you just put your hand inside the chicken?
Yeah, just.
You did? Okay, no.
It tastes very nice.
I can imagine.
You should.
I will be doing justice to that chicken, but we have to watch what Chef Sheon is doing.
Okay, yeah.
What's next?
What's next, Chef?
Next, we have the tomato puree, which will be going into the vegetables.
Yeah. Yeah. Good. Fantastic.
And the reason why we are adding tomato puree is to give it a colorful look.
Seriously?
Yes, that reddish, colorful look.
Okay. So that's quite a lot of puree, though.
Yeah.
This is like about 3 tablespoons of the puree,
Yes,
right?
yes, because we are making jollof rice. And jollof rice is definitely red with the spice of fried rice.
Okay, so fried rice ingredients.
Yes.
With ofada rice.
With ofada rice.
And it's a jollof.
As in it's a jollof. 2 in 1. 2 in 1.
I was getting confused.
You can't be.
I shouldn't be confused there. I shouldn't be confused.
So
right.
we're adding a little salt for it to taste.
Okay. Okay.
Just a
little.
yeah.
That's not little, though.
Yeah, it is.
It's little. That's little.
Because the ofada rice, we didn't add salt in it when we are parboiling it, so we need to make sure that the salt is enough.
So these are stock cubes.
Yes, please.
Are we adding stock cubes?
Yes,
today?
just 2.
Just 2. All right. Because I could see that you opened up quite a few, and I'm like, is it all this one where you?
No. We are just using some few.
I just wanted to be sure. All right. So stock cubes, salt, the tomato puree, they're all in there. What's next?
So we are just going to leave it to fry a bit, and then we'll be adding a little water in it.
Okay, so when you say a little, like 1 cup?
Just 2 cups.
2 cups.
Yes,
2 cups of water to this. All right then. So we're gonna have to start the top of the hour process in a bit. But everything smells nice.
Yes, definitely.
Me, I've tasted the chicken. I'm going to be tasting it too. Chef Sheon got our back.
Yes, I got your back, man.
Yeah, I love it.
And one of the reasons why we're sticking to ofada rice, we need to let Nigerians know that we need to stick to our culture. Enough of basmati rice. Ofada rice is very healthy, sweet and delicious, very easy to prepare.
All right.
So people are of the notion that you can only take ofada rice with sauce, but that's why we are bringing you a different way to make your ofada rice, which is jollof rice ofada, spiced with fried rice.
We are Wake Up Nigeria, and we are proudly Nigerian, even with our food, especially with our food.
Yes, so.
Please, let's go to that break so I can taste this chicken. Now, there's been so much on the show so far. So which one is your favorite? Which one do you like?
Yeah, I just had me some chicken. I don't care. Yeah, I just really
The way you materialized in that kitchen like a genie. I don't know,
opened the pot.
Yeah.
And I'm like, where did all this chicken come from?
As
like,
in,
what?
We were busy. We're busy. Yeah. But there's so much still happening on the show.
Yeah, indeed. Of course, we're going to be here for another 4 to 5 minutes. Yes, 2 hours has gone by already, and it's been very nice and eventful as well.
Thank you so much for joining us for the 3rd hour of Wake Up Nigeria. Stay with us till the end, please. My name is Titi Layo Oyinson.
And I'm Yomi Okwe. You can watch us live at tvcentertainment.tv and on Facebook. Check us out at TVC Connect.
Yes, indeed. Now, those comments, yes, tell us what you think about our ofada and our preparation. Tell us what you think about the show so far. We can't wait to hear it. Use our hashtag #WakeUpNigeria on TVC.
Now, if you search on your Play Store, on Google or the Apple iStore, you can find us at TVC Connect. This app allows you to watch us anywhere in the world.
You know, there's something we don't tell people to follow us on Twitter. You know, like we.
Yeah.
You know, we don't do that.
Yeah, because we just assume that.
Yeah, people are.
Yeah, okay, so follow at Titi Oyinson.
At Titi the Dynamite.
Oh, Titi
wow,
Dynamite.
You don't know are you following me, Yomi?
Yeah.
I'm just checking.
I am.
And at Yomi Okwe 1. I know your hand. Imagine, I know your handle. We have
and that's Yomi Okwe on Twitter and Yomi Okwe 1 on Instagram. Titi the Dynamite. Okay, so you can see on your screen right now. So,
follow us. Yes.
So follow. And follow at Mike Mexicano.
Yes, indeed.
And follow at
Lady O Mary.
Lady O Mary. Then follow at Ime.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what?
Too much talk.
Too much talk, I mean.
What's Mike doing in the kitchen?
Mike is in the kitchen doing something funny.
I'm just ensuring that everything's very okay.
Yes. Let's tell everybody what we have all the rest of the show.
Yeah, Peter Iweagu, a.k.a. King Chessie, is a pop and Afro singer and songwriter who released a single earlier in the year and is joining us today.
See, I love you, girl. I love you.
And then it's on to art display. We have an artist and educator, Koke Xavier, coming into the studio.
And then we move on to something about a book review that we're going to be doing today. And this one has to do with the law, about your legal rights and obligations. This is a really, really important book. And we're going to be talking to, of course, the author, why he wrote the book and, you know, and all the other details.
Yeah, so it was really interesting. I asked someone, you know, what they thought about some of our segments, and people actually know what day each segment comes up. It actually surprised me. There was someone that said they look forward to game day. They were like, oh, they love Fridays, and they make sure no matter what, they tune in on Fridays. And there was someone that told me, yes, that they make sure that they tune in on Monday for motivation.
Yeah, so but why is it, why actually surprised you?
I don't know. It was just, you know, it still sort of surprises me that loads of people are watching.
We've been doing this for more than 2 years. So.
Yeah.
And now it's become a routine, so that people who look forward to particular days, and, oh, it's Thursday, okay, Arts Day,
Yeah,
that kind of thing, yeah.
As in, it's interesting, really, really interesting.
So about that stuff I was saying, there's this, it was 2012, 2013, he was, Trump, that's talking about Trump, was elected 2016, right? I think it was 2012, 2013, and there's this dinner, you know, and Obama is there, is of course, the main guy there, and Trump is seated there, you know, and people come up different time and they are throwing shots and all of that, talking. And then, you do remember the way Obama rounded it up and he says something like, okay, so people are talking about being the worst president ever, but I'll retire, I'll live as a president. I guess this part. Now put it into Trump. Hey!
Trump didn't look like he was happy.
The drama.
Yes, there is a lot of drama in politics.
Yes, indeed. And,
Okay, you know how it is. Thursday and it's our art day. Wonderful. I can feel the rays of the sun here. We have Koke in the house. Koke, you're welcome. Great to have you. Koke is an artist. He does quite a lot, right? We're about to talk to him now. So, Koke, cool. I can see this is an abstract work you have here. But just before we talk about the work, let's talk about your career as an artist. How did it start?
Well, basically, I've always been drawing like right from childhood. But it built as I was growing older.
Up,
yeah. Then
did you have encouragement from your parents or guardians?
Well, no, not really. But my mom always has always encouraged me.
Wonderful.
Because I wasn't going to study art actually. But my jump stuff didn't work out. So I went to FCA and I was going to study. I just wanted to just give it a try till I get my jump. Stuff. Then I think the day before I was going to take jump, I already got the form. I was like, wow, I'm actually getting better. I'm actually good in art than going to study some other course. That's going to be very difficult for me.
Great.
So.
And that was how you
so I just
got to study it.
Yeah.
So I know that apart from artworks, you say you also do graffiti, you do body painting, you do on shirts and all of that.
Yeah.
All right, that's quite something. So let's talk about what we have here.
Okay.
Your style. How do you describe your style of work?
Well, it's freestyle. That's just it, freestyle. There's no.
Where do you think you have a specialization?
No, specialization is working with colors. For me, is a specialization. Like working with a lot of colors at the same time on a particular drawing page.
Okay, so let's start with this one. What do we have here? What's the title and what's about it?
This one is rainbow culture.
Okay.
So it's just like a community, a country, just as the world is. You know, we have a lot of diversity, diverse cultures, and so it's just like a lot of people.
Converging and all of that, a lot of colors,
rainbow
colors. All right, so it's starting rainbow colors. Okay, So let's look at this straight one here. I can see an elephant, but definitely it is abstract. What's the inspiration behind this piece?
Well, it's dominance. That's the name of the title of the work. Yeah, dominance. So it's just like believing in yourself. You know, African elephant is a quiet being, but no matter how quiet it is, you still can't like go and challenge it.
Exactly, it has a lot inside. You can't, they don't burn you.
So it's just like you always standing tall and strong for what you believe in.
Wonderful, I like that, dominance, and that's an African elephant. Beautiful there. So that piece that we can see is another abstract work. What's that titled?
Okay, that piece is titled Tears.
Tears.
Yeah. So you see this abstract, those faces out there. It's just like someone crying, and then just know that below, there's always going to be hope.
Okay, wonderful.
That's always going to be hope.
Now we have two extra pieces here. Let's talk about both of them. I can see a mother, a male, female. What's this piece called?
Well, that work is actually untitled, but the story behind it is just family. You know, always being together, and colors represent kids. So when the family always stays strong, it's just like a generation starting from two persons, then it builds on, and then you're having a lot of people coming out from just two persons.
Okay, thank you very much. This is me wishing you the best, and hopefully, we just have to move now. But this is me wishing you the best and all of that, and make it happen. Keep up doing what you're doing. And you said something that you're still going to educate yourself when it comes to the art and living.
Just finance.
All the best, man.
Thank you. I appreciate
it. Take care.
Yeah.
All right, so that's it. Yeah, that's our art work for today. We'll take a break, and then we'll be back, of course, with our final guest on the show. You don't want to miss it.
Welcome back. Now, our book of the week is Legal Rights and Obligations under Nigerian Law. Now, this is a book that is authored by Adedumade Onibokun. Now, he is a lawyer and the managing partner at Adedumade Onibokun & Co. He is also the founder of Legal Naija, a platform dedicated to legal education and advocacy, which is really, really important to us here on the show. And that's one of the things that we're going to be discussing today. Now, so this book looks a bit like something that is academic. But if you read it, if you go through it, you'll discover that there are many, many things that are relevant to you individually. Now, I've said before that you don't have to be a lawyer to know the law, especially as it affects you as an individual. And Barrister is going to be talking to us about this book and about some aspects of it that are relevant to individuals. You know, I just want to read something from this book before we go to the dedication and who you wrote it in honor of. Somewhere I marked here. Accessory to crime. Now, did you know that you can be an accessory to crime without even knowing it? Yeah. So it says, a friend has committed an offense and runs to you for help. What you do at that point determines if you will be held as to be an accessory after the fact. Whether you aided or took part in some act that aided your friend in committing that offense, even after he has committed it. Yeah. And or even helping them escape the law. You know, so hiding your friend from the law makes you an accessory. So question is, how does one know if they are likely to be an accessory to a crime? So that's a question for you today.
First of all, thank you so much for having me here. It's such a great show. I'm glad I have the opportunity.
Thank you.
Secondly, how do you prevent such a situation where you're an accessory to crime? Okay, the truth is, if you look at what I would like to call for we young people, what we like to call the bro code, you know, or where you have a friend and you just want to look out for them. So I'll give a simple example of a crime. Let's say someone defrauds someone, right, and comes to you and say, can we use your account to collect the money? So you were not the one that actually orchestrated the crime by defrauding the other party, but you presented your account knowing fully well it was a crime. So that's how to be
an accessory. And then
or
hiding
an
the
accomplice.
money. Yeah, being an accomplice in the crime. Another thing that I noted, which a lot of people don't even know, is that there are offenses you can commit as a blogger. So that that you don't have many people following your blog doesn't mean that you're not you might not comment. And there's several things, and it says if you do anything knowingly, that's sending a false message knowingly, you can be liable to conviction and a fine of 7 million naira or 3 years imprisonment or both. They'll send you to jail for blogging the wrong thing and bill you 7 million naira and send you to prison for 3 years. That's I didn't know this was a Nigerian law.
Cybercrimes Act,
The Cybercrime Act. So blogging the wrong thing or blogging a lie is actually a cybercrime.
Yes. For instance, now personally, I've been doing blogging for some time. So as a lawyer, because I understand the, shall I say, effects or ramifications of things that I say, I'm always careful. So for instance, if I come out and say something false about another person or something I have not verified, then that happens to be false, then I could be held liable under that crime. So many bloggers have had these issues. For instance, you hear of situations where politicians, most particularly even governors, arrest certain bloggers or people off the press that for saying something that they believe was wrong or for saying something that they believe was meant to tarnish their image. And that also goes to defamation laws. So there's libel and there's slander. So when you write something or when you say something that is not true, then you can even be caught under defamation laws, aside from the Cybercrimes Act.
Now, one of the things I've always wanted to ask is, who does the burden of proof fall on? So a blogger writes something that they believe is true. Or they claim to be a journalist and they say, you know what, I saw this thing, it happened, or I got this information from a credible source. Who does the burden of proof lie on? If the person is arrested, what if it's true but it's been covered?
Now, the thing is, the body of proof kind of shifts from time to time. It's not all the time when it's static in one person's position. Especially when one person has fulfilled their own part of that body, it shifts to the other person. So, for instance, if as a journalist or as a blogger or as a writer or even as someone who just has a social media handle, I write something that happens to be wrong, happens to be false and misleading, then there's something called the defense. So when I'm taking a court now and I'm asked, why did you say this? I could come out and say, okay, my defense is that what I said was true.
Right.
Now, if it's proven that it is true with my facts, of course, I'm going to have facts. I'm going to have things I've put together to support my story. So if I can prove that it's true, then I'm fine because that's the defense. What I said is true. But if it turns out by the time I have brought out my own part of the story, by the time I've given out my own facts, by the time I've presented my own evidence, if it happens that
you still can't prove,
I still can't prove, then
you probably go to jail.
Well, the person will probably go to jail.
All right, so there are certain things that I'm also seeing here about, because a lot of the things that I'm talking about now fall under Chapter 5, which is criminal law. And that's the one that has to do with individuals and people getting into trouble without knowing that, not knowing that what they have done is wrong and things like that. There are certain offenses against morality, which, I mean, with some of these things are gray areas. Offenses against morality, public indecency, okay, maybe not really a gray area. Public health, public smoking, and things like that. Why is it important that people know these things in their daily lives?
Well, the first reason is because ignorance of the law is no excuse. So if you've committed an offense and you're taken before the court, and you're asked, why did you do it? And
so
you say,
I don't know.
I don't know. That's no excuse. So that's why it's important for people to know their rights. And that's what I aim to do when I set out to write the book.
Which is really, really important. Of course, your blog as well continues to educate people and to know their rights, because sometimes, again, somebody can charge you for an offense against morality or public indecency, but you still be able to defend yourself that, look, it wasn't really indecent.
Now, for instance, offenses against morality, there are a number of them. For instance, you'll be surprised that anal sex is actually an offense against morality. Child pornography is an against this offenses that aim to hurt our morality as a people.
Right.
So things we see that are morally wrong, you know, especially when you rape someone, when you assault someone, you know, when you assault a lady, when you, so all these things are what are termed as offenses against morality. Even gay relationships in this part of the world, you know, can be seen as offenses against morality.
Now, of course, in chapter 8, you talked about family law, which is also a big deal. But I didn't know. I mean, on page 164, you talked about adultery. Is that a crime?
No, adultery is not a crime, but under family law, it is a ground for divorce.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's becoming clearer now.
Yeah.
But obviously, I mean, abortion is
abortion is an offense.
Is an offense. And you can go to jail for that.
Yes.
Wow. And of course, you've written child pornography and a number of other things like that. So you've written this book in order because you said legal rights and obligations.
Yes.
Yeah. So people need to know what their rights are to be able to then speak up for themselves, right? So do I need a lawyer? Does an average person need a lawyer in order to explain some of these things to them?
I think the first thing you need is information. Because there's some things that you don't need a lawyer for if you can have that information, if what you need is information. But when you need advice concerning the information you were in, concerning the situation you were in, then you need a lawyer.
That's really, really important. Now, of course, you wrote this book in honor of Justice SMA Belgore, GCON. And, you know, when I looked through his achievements over more than 50 years of his career, it's staggering. So why did you choose him specifically?
Well, Justice Belgore is one of what I'll term as one of the best Chief Justice we've had in Nigeria so far. You know, and during his tenure, though he was there for a very short time, but he was able to introduce a lot of reforms that helped to shape our current judicial system as it is today. And I am very big on judicial reforms. I'm very big on access to justice. So all these things are part of the things that endeared me to his personality in the first place.
Wow. Anyway, so where can I find you online? You have a blog. You can just tell me what that blog is.
So you can find me personally at Adidumede. Then our blog is Legal Niger. So
Legal Niger. I think I'm going to be reading that blog because
we're on
a lot
social
of
media as well.
Yeah, a lot of the little things that people encounter. Somebody gets arrested suddenly by the police, and you know they don't really know what their rights and their obligations are. And I think it's important that people get this book.
Yeah, like sorry to quote you short, but will you be surprised to know that when a policeman wants to search you, you have the right to search him first?
Say, officer,
will you try that?
Officer, let me search you first. You know. Anyway, so I'm taking you to the kitchen now. We have something special that we're planning. But the book, don't forget, is Legal Rights and Obligations Under Nigerian Law. And it's for everyone, not just for lawyers. It's for everyone because, look, the things that are in this book, if you know them, you walk. The Bible says a man with knowledge increases strength, which is really, really important. Anyway, so let's go to the kitchen now.
All right, great.
And join the rest of the guys.
You're welcome, sir.
Hello, Titi.
Welcome.
Nice to be here.
So, guys, did you know that if a policeman asks to search you, you can ask him back that you want to search him first?
Yeah.
Which kind of, which policeman?
Any policeman. So if they say, okay, stop and search, or yeah, come out, let me search you.
Yeah.
You can.
Okay, personal searching. It depends on the area where you're
Maybe
that's according to my lawyer. That's according to my lawyer because he's not my lawyer.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you so much. It's great to be
We have Chef Seun here from Owambe Spicy.
Yes.
And he's been assisted by Blessing. Blessing has been behind the scenes. And look what they've come up with.
You should look here. I'm the one finishing this meal now.
Yeah.
See,
Now this is Ofada rice jollof.
Spiced with a touch of fried rice.
Spiced with it. What? I'm confused. What is Mike doing? Mike, what are you doing?
Mike Masekeno.
Mike, what? Oh my goodness. He's
I'm sure-
adding tomato to the rice.
I'm sure he wants to be a co-chef.
On Sunday, they don't know.
Talk to us a little bit
They don't
about
know.
what we've done.
Yeah, so we have ofada jollof here, and we started with parboiling the rice, granite oil, the ingredients going into the granite oil, and mixing everything up to steam up together. And here we have the ofada rice, served with plantain, spiced stir-fried chicken, and gizzard.
And gizzard.
Yes.
Yes. Sir, you're very welcome.
They don't know.
Let me just get
In the cupboard there?
in the cupboard here.
Yeah, right there.
Over here?
Lower one.
Lower.
Yeah. Okay.
So this is very delicious, very delicious.
Yeah.
And I'm sure our viewers are looking forward to try this.
So we've been focusing on ofada rice today.
So
Tell
you
us
can
a bit
start.
more about
You can start
Yeah,
anywhere.
ofada rice, like I said,
really?
can be traced back to 1940, and ofada rice was named after a town in Ogun State. And this Sunday we are having the ofada rice day. It's going to be tap. It's happening at Muri Okunola Park, and it's going to be very fun. And we have a lot of guest artists that will be performing there live that day.
Hey.
Most especially, we have the Afro Juju master, Sir Shino Peters, performing live.
Wow.
So viewers, you need to be there. You need to be there.
That's
we are
a
going
nice-
to have
that's
a
a nice
touch
hype right
of
there.
ofada.
Okay, so that's happening on Sunday.
Yes, Sunday.
Yeah. All day Sunday.
All day Sunday.
Till night, till like
yeah,
9
take
o'clock.
me to Mama Sunday.
You know what? We have to go, but I know a lot of people are preparing for Sunday. Big shout out to our friends
Ofada guys.
at Homely NG for the kitchen accessories. Thank you so much.
Yes,
and thank
indeed.
you to Chef Sheo and Blessing for coming.
Yes, indeed.
And thank you
Barrister,
very much.
what
Barrister.
did you tasted it? What did you think?
So this is the first time I'm having
Ofada
this
jollof.
Ofada jollof.
Wow.
I think it's great. I like the way the rice was a bit soft and not so
Hard.
You cannot even tell it's actually ofada because it's kind of like jollofy kind of.
Exactly.
So, thumbs up.
Yeah, thank you very
So
much, sir.
we should invest in our own.
We're going to be back tomorrow for
Yeah.
the Friday edition of Wake Up Nigeria, 6 a.m.
And it'll be game day.